Okay. Apart from age, in regards to some of the issues that older women have, especially older black women, apart from just dealing with the issue of age, is the whole issue of what you want out of life. What do I mean? Here's an example. When we're younger, I think it's almost every boy's fantasy to want to be in the play professional baseball or be in the NFL or be in the NBA. You know, we all grow up and our heroes tend to be athletes. More than anything, we look up to athletes simply because, physically they can do so many different things that everybody else can't. So we grow up and we have these fantasies, we want to be professional athletes, this, that, and the third. And a lot of us try to pursue those dreams, right? We all think that we're going to make it big at one point. But if you are, and technically, I guess you can at least try to live out your dream because you're young, right? You can do some of the things you want to do. You can put in that time. But let's say you're 27, 28. Is it realistic to still have these fantasies of making it to the NBA or NFL? No, it's not. So in terms of what you want to do professionally for the rest of your life, you have to come up with a new plan. I don't want to say back to the drawing board, but you have to come up with something new. But oftentimes when we're dealing with older women, a lot of them still have this mindset that, we can have this ideal type of family where there's 4 kids and there's the house with the white picket fence and, there's the dog and, she's driving an Avalon and, he's drives a Maxima, they're just right in the middle, right? Middle America, just doing well. And the problem with that is that a lot of those lifestyles started a long time ago. Like even with our parents, growing up when things were good between my parents, yeah, things were ideal. But my parents got together when we were young. Like I said before, we didn't move out of the inner city area until I was about 3. Right, my sister was 5 or 7, so we slowly worked our way up from bad environments to semi-bad, all the way up to where we got to where we were now. And I wasn't 7 or so, till we finally got there. But my parents had been together obviously from before, so they worked their way up. They didn't have this whole mentality of we want the ideal family, but we're gonna wait to be established. There's not enough time. From a biological standpoint, how many kids can you have? And then still try to hold down the job? It's unrealistic. So what I think has to happen is a lot of women, have to go back to the drawing board and redefine what happiness is to them. Right? Maybe it's not having 3 kids, 4 kids. Maybe it's just having 1 kid. Right? Or maybe it's about adopting. I don't know what it is. But it's more so what you have to do on your own. I can't tell you, men can't tell you this should be your new dream. But what we can say is what you have before, what you have currently, doesn't really work. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. I was just at a Christmas party. A friend of mine was having one, and I was talking to her sister, and, she's a bit older, and, we were just talking about profession and what was going on and what we were doing. And we were talking about how it was kind of unrealistic for a lot of women to think that. Oh, and I was telling her about an article that I read and that got sent to me, via YouTube. I forgot the user, but it was just about how a lot of women take time off when they finish their degree or whatever. So, they just got out of law school or med school or whatever they're doing, right? MBA program. And they take time to have kids. And we were talking about that. But I pointed out the flaw, right? Because that whole idea of taking time off as soon as you get your degree and having kids is based off of you having somebody before. It's unrealistic to think that within 3 years or 2 years that you're going to meet somebody, date for a significant amount of time, get married, go through the engagement process, then start to have children and be at a point where that child is old enough to, be sent to some sort of daycare in 2 or 3 years. It's unrealistic, especially if you're going to be carrying a child for 9 months. It's very unrealistic, and it's those sort of dreams and aspirations that these women have that really hurt men. It's not that they're just initially unwanted because they're older. No, It's not about that. It's more, I think more so it's just about what they're expecting. You know, you got to settle it down. You have to tone it down. It's too much of a rush, right? And you just have to really come to terms with reality. You do. You just have to come to terms with reality. It's not to say that you can't be happy, but what else is there? You know, it's like going to the restaurant and you're like, oh, we ran out of, chicken. Right, it doesn't mean that your dinner is going to be whack and it can't be good. Maybe you just have to try the salmon, or try the steak or something else. Try the shrimp. Try a new dish. Try a new meal. You got to go back to the drawing board. So I think that's what we want to see. That's really what we want to see. But going back to the video that we all just watched a couple of days ago, and it's funny because I have friends on my Facebook who also saw the same video. So I guess a whole bunch of people saw this video. So I'm almost having two sorts of conversations, one on Facebook and one on here. But from what I've seen from the video, these women still have this idea of having this typical type of family where it's, the 3 kids and all the other good stuff. And they made reference to, one girl said, oh, some of my non-black friends are 25 and they're married and children. And they started earlier. And I can guarantee you, your same friends that are 25 or younger aren't established. They're still going through the motions. They're still dealing with, maybe not living in the best area. They're pretty much still on the come up. But it goes back to this whole idea of not understanding that your home family life is separated from your career profession. They go hand in hand, but they intertwine. So you can still separate them, but they're still intertwined. So that philosophy is hurting a lot of black women, but there comes a point in time where even if you understand it, right, your age is still preventing you from going back. So sometimes you can understand what you should have done so you can get the bigger picture, but because of age, you can't go back. You just can't. You just can't go back. If I were to know now, at 25, what you should do to be in the NFL or the NBA or whatever, I'm sure I could have made it if I had that information when I was younger, but now that you have it older, it doesn't help you. So even if you see the light, you know what to do, you just can't go back there. You just have to say, well, I have to reevaluate what's going on and come up with something new, find a new goal, find a new plan that can make me just as happy. This goes back to the whole idea of self-reflection, but either way, it's almost unavoidable. It really is. I see a lot of women hold on to what they know won't work or what they know they can't find simply because of no other alternative. No one's saying it's easy, right? Going from one plan to another plan is very hard. I don't care if it's about dating. I don't care if it's about career. It's hard. Making that change, but it needs to happen. You just can't hold on to something because of the fear of trying something new or the fear of having to accept certain things, because at the end of the day, you don't win. It's like staying in a burning building and refusing to jump out because you don't know where you're going to land. Well, yeah, I understand that fear, but if you stay in that building, it's going to burn up and you're going to die on the inside. So you kind of have to do it. It's either, do or die at this point. So anyways, you guys take it easy. Tell me how you feel. God bless.